fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse, I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Show here, and now, before I do begin, somebody said Deku is basically Roy Mustang. And it's hard to argue with your assessment, but, I mean, not yet. That could be its own what if on its own. But anyways, now, with that out of the way, what if Deku was the first user's reincarnation, or the reincarnation of the first user? Now, let us pick up with Izuku. It has been a day since we last saw him, and there he is. Him annoyed with what his mom has given him. Deku going to school, and all the other kids watching as, even though he's changed out of his regular clothing, he still does seem to have some pair of gloves on. And teachers, they have been informed about it. And along with Bakugo actually asking Midoriya about that. I tried telling my mom an idea I had and, well, she completely misunderstood me. Really? What was your idea? Well, I mean, I'd have to draw it out, but it basically allows you to... Why would I use it for that? Midoriya says. A thought where he can use a certain device he wants to make to break through armor. Or even use it for something even dangerous. Now, Midoriya is trying to figure all of that out. That's not what he wants to do with it. Okay. Now, Midoriya tries to explain. Basically, they can, whenever his hand's light on fire, if he were to throw his hand outwards and whoosh, all of it would go in one single direction, focused through his palm. Basically, all that force and energy gets redirected. Midoriya trying to roughly draw what he's talking about. As soon as teachers do actually see Midoriya take off his glove and begin to draw, they do want to voice some complaints. But the boy is not using his quirk. One teacher actually deciding to ask Izuku exactly why he's wearing the gloves. Oh, well, my mom wants me to wear them around Bakugo, but... Well, I mean... I can control my quirk, I promise. Besides, it only happened whenever I use my quirk. Even then, I have fire breath. Okay, you do make a fair point. But... Okay. Just make sure you two don't get too close. Her basically scooting Bakugo a little bit away from Midoriya, along with sliding his notebook in between two desks. Now, Midoriya continues drawing. And Bakugo actually does look a bit surprised at a rough draft. Deku trying to explain more. Now, with that, Bakugo does actually ask Midoriya if there's more things inside this notebook. Going to flip a page. Izuku immediately grabbing the book and sliding it back over in front of him before slamming it closed. No. Izuku, I just wanted to see what you drew. No, it's okay. Besides, the other ideas, they're not complete yet. It looks stupid. Uh, okay. But do you think that there's anything we could make for my explosions? Besides those, what were they called? Hand grenades. Yeah, those. Hmm, I think so. But I think it'd be a lot more difficult, especially with your quirk. Hmm? What do you mean? Well, you sweat nitroglycerin? Mm-hmm. So you'd have to stockpile it. Hmm. Midoriya trying to think for a second before just running off. At recess, there he is, in his notebook, drawing more things. Now, as for what's actually inside this notebook, Midoriya is drawing what happened in the past. He's drawing a picture of a battle of his original self, his brother forcing a hand onto his face. And on the next page, whenever you flip it, you do see what looks to be a man curled up in a ball and a dog bowl at the floor, full of water, one empty, his hunger strike. You flipping through it more before you do see All for One's second in command, his guard. Now, while Izuku is actually drawing this, the bell rings. Before he finally does go back to focusing, looking down as he's kind of confused at what this is, deciding to close his notebook at the back and put it back in his backpack, continuing on throughout his day. Now, with that being said, Midoriya does go home, and similar things do begin to happen. Midoriya, he does seem like a very smart kid. And then there's the fact that he always wants to train his quirk. He wants to get stronger. He wants to fight villains. He wants to go do these things. Inko, surprised that Midoriya knows what some of these things are. And it does actually become somewhat concerning. Her thinking that her son, well, what's the best way to say it? He might have learned that from the internet, you could say. Her basically looking at the computer and trying to find out any information on this. Her finding out that Midoriya, instead of looking at All Might videos recently, he's been trying to look into certain people. Midoriya's looked into a woman by the name of Nana Shimura. Who is that? Her quirk, float. That's sort of strange. Did did he look into her because she looks like me? That's weird. Okay, that's weird. Anyways, her deleting that from the history and beginning to search a bit more. There's another man. A man with a black whip. That's strange. Her clearing the history. And then there's a whole list of heroes Midoriya has looked at. A man with a regeneration quirk, a man with another quirk, one with a strength quirk, laser eyes quirk, and even a guy who literally spits saw blades from his teeth. Those are all random. Anyways, no relation to the story. Now, Inko is also a bit more confused, along with the fact that Midoriya, whenever he is left alone, he does seem to act a little bit different. Her trying to look into this. Before one day, whenever Midoriya is 5 years old, he does begin to show signs of growing out of this phase. Inko has talked to a doctor before and tried to get it diagnosed. Now, doctors basically explained to her that it's not uncommon for a child to make up an imaginary friend, albeit sometimes they're a bit more odd and strange than others, but still. It is only a cause for concern at different variables. Now, with that, Midoriya, whenever he's 5 years old, he's actually out playing one day, and he's not really wearing his gloves. Midoriya actually having a little bit of fun, as he's messing around with his quirk. Him and Bakugo having a little bit of a contest as the two are talking. Bakugo making a bit of a bigger explosion in his hands. And Midoriya, he immediately turns on his hand, and you do see it begin to spark with flame in a actual 1 point. Midoriya's palm. His entire hand isn't coated in flames, it's just his palm. Whoa, when did you learn how to do that? Oh, didn't I tell you? I've been trying to work on this. But that's not even it, watch this. Midoriya closing his hand and reopening it, as a large burst of flames do fly out from his palm, before he does actually begin to somewhat smile. See? I'm getting better. Whoa, that was actually pretty big, right? My mom doesn't know, but whenever she, lets me go out and play, sometimes I try and work on my quirk. Why? Well, I want to get stronger. Besides, one thing Where did I learn that from? Huh? You gonna say something? Oh, um, one thing I did learn. Apparently, if you train whenever you're too young, your body can't handle it when you're older. In fact, it does a lot more harm. So, I've been trying to, work on my quirk. In fact, it's quite strange though. Hmm? What is that? Well, my quirk is different, right? Mm-hmm. So, Midoriya actually deciding to try and show Bakugo what he means, as he does slip off his shoes and walk over into the sand pit, or at least the sandbox. Now, Midoriya tries to show Bakugo what he means, as he does ignite his hands and take a deep breath in. As soon as he does do that, he immediately blows out a deep breath before bringing his hands up and basically scooping the flame, you could say. As soon as he does do that, he pushed it down into the ground. Bakugo sort of confused and surprised. Midoriya's flames burn in the sand and beginning to, turn them into glass, you could say, or at least begin to melt into glass. Bakugo watching as Midoriya, he then takes a step forwards and over the burnt glass, or sand. Now, Midoriya then does actually just bring up his foot and kick outwards. Bakugo watching as a small patch of flames do actually burst from Midoriya's foot. Huh? How did you... Hmm? How did I what? How'd you do that? Wait, you can shoot flames from 5 different places? Hmm? Uh, I guess so? I've been trying to work on it, but it's really hard. That's like the second time I've done it? Really? When was the first? Hmm, well, I don't know. I guess I got lucky though, 'cause I guess it was whenever I was out playing last time. I decided to try running through the area behind our apartments, and, whenever I tried throwing out my hands forwards, I fell. Oh, wait, so you found out by accident? Kind of. But I'm, um, Midoriya having a bit of a vision. Now, he's being asked exactly what type of quirk does he want. Hmm? Brother, this isn't really the right thing to do. You can't just keep taking quirks from people. Why not? Besides, some people don't even want those things. I'm doing good. I'm taking away quirks people don't want and giving them to people who do want them. Celebrities, people who will pay money. It's helping many people. They're being called freaks out there. Do you want me to stop my good deeds? That's not what I'm talking about, and you know it. Then what do you want me to do? Let them suffer? Let them be let them be spit at, shot at, and ridiculed for no reason? Then again, you don't understand. Let me give you a quirk. I told you I don't want one. Why? Because you're scared? What? No, not because I'm scared. Listen, after what happened to mom and dad, we're all the family we have left. I don't care if I'm, well, powerless or you're abnormal. You're still my older brother. I'm not just gonna up and leave you. We're family, bud. Hmm. That's true, but still. Besides, I think you got a bit of a fan club joining, don't you? Hmm? What are you talking about? Come on, man, you took an intelligence quirk. You can't be that stupid. Really? Come on. Just take a look outside. Him looking through the blinds. Many different people somewhat crowded around. Look, see? Someone looking up and shouting that that's all for one. Him kind of confused. All for one? Do you know why he called me that? Hmm? Well, come on. I mean, it kinda works. You did take all of their quirks out there. Besides, you took like 5 people's quirks earlier today and they were all in a group. They thanked you for it and paid you, but still. I mean, you're right, but could I really be called that? Hmm? Why? Well, it's just that I've been getting these weird flashes and glimpses, and a lot of people I've talked to have said they're getting them too. Flashes? Glimpses? Well, yeah, I've talked to some of my customers. They said that after they've gotten a quirk, they feel like they're messed up. They're not right. In fact, they've gotten into contact with the people they got the quirk from, and they've tried talking to them about it. They thought it was a side effect, but apparently not. Hmm? What do you mean? So, are you saying like it's putting someone's consciousness into another person's body? What? No. It's like you're seeing things from them, things they've experienced or things they've lived out, but it's not really you. It's like, well, I've experienced it myself. Uh, well, him turning and saying like that. If he were to basically step forwards, him acting on a scene, saying that you could see me do this, or this, or this, and he wouldn't really be there. Huh? Really? That's what you see? Well, kind of. It's not just that, it's actually some of the other people I've seen before. Him pointing out and saying, can he see that? See what? All for one, looking at it, getting quite uncomfortable. Now, he's seeing the memories of somebody who was abused by their parents for having a quirk. Now, all for one, he does just look away, and he tries to ignore the sounds he's hearing. Now, he then asks his brother if he's alright. Yeah, I'll be fine. I just, I think I need to get something to drink. I'm kind of thirsty. Him then quickly walking out of the room and leaving. Now, with that being said, Midoriya does actually come to, confused whenever he does look around. Huh? Izuku, are you okay? What are you talking about? Um, you've kind of just been staying there and you haven't responded. Hmm? Oh, yeah, I'll be fine. What was that I saw? Shigaraki? Brother? All for one. That sounds familiar. Now, Midoriya does go home, hiding the facts that he used his quirk. Now, whenever Midoriya does get home, he writes those names down in his notebook. For some reason, they feel like they fit over the men in the pictures he made. Now, along with that, Midoriya does fall asleep. Inko actually walking into his room and seeing her baby, before actually thinking that he's always carrying that thing around. She's gotta get him a new one. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.